What a day. Let's just go back to talking about that runtime. What's happening, film friends? David the Film Junkie here. All right, guys. Well, Henry Cavill did a little talking to The Rake. He had a little interview. And he said some things, and a lot of people not really liking what he has to say. And it's nothing to do with, obviously, anybody that's fans of other franchises. It's our own little group here that wasn't too happy about it. I mean, it's just, I swear, it was an interesting day. And on my other channel, I'm going to talk about the other thing that came out today because technically that's more newsworthy. So make sure you're subscribed and check all that out. Anyways, Cavill. This is what Cavill had to say about, about the DCEU, essentially, the movies and everything. Stuff that's happened, where it's headed and everything like that. He said, even if Marvel didn't exist, we'd struggle. There was a style they were going for, an attempt to be different and look at things from a slightly different perspective, which hasn't necessarily worked. Now, some people were upset about that. But the thing is, I mean, he's talking about critically. And then he goes on by saying that. He says, yes, it has made money, but it has not been a critical success. It hasn't given everyone that sensation which superheroes should give the viewer. I feel like now the right mistakes have been made. I think he's mainly talking about Suicide Squad. I feel like now the right mistakes have been made and they haven't been pandered to. And we can start telling the stories in the way they need to be told. It is even better to come back from a mistake or a stylistic error into the correct vein because it will make it seem so much stronger. Wonder Woman was his first step in the right direction. Now, a lot of people are going, well, Jesus, what? He didn't like Man of Steel? He didn't like Batman or Superman? What's going on? He hating on Zack Snyder? No, he's not saying that. He's not saying that at all, but let's finish and what he has to say. I think it's a wonderful time for the female superhero. Obviously, talking about Wonder Woman. It is a perfect setting in social politics. Right now, we need it. We want that perspective, and Wonder Woman has struck at the ideal time and has become a phenomenal success, which is fantastic. Any success within the superhero universe, especially within the DC universe, is wonderful because I want to keep telling the Superman story. Selfishly, that works for me, okay? So he even admits right there that he's just speaking his mind. He's speaking his opinion right here, and a lot of people are like thinking that he's just totally there was, if you guys follow me on Twitter, there was a certain Marvel fanboy that, I guess he's kind of like also a fan of all of it, but yeah, he basically, there's people, no, wait, it wasn't a Marvel fan, but it was a DC guy that was saying that, yeah, he's totally shitting on the DCEU. You need to stop. He's speaking his opinion, and he's not wrong. He's not wrong. I mean, some of the mistakes that were made, that's just growing pains, okay? Growing pains. You think, is everybody thinking that the MCU is just perfect? Is it perfect? Iron Man 2? Perfect? They struck gold with Iron Man. They struck gold, okay? Incredible Hulk? Not the biggest success. Iron Man 2? Not really either. I mean, there's just going to be growing pains. There's always going to be growing pains. And the fact of the matter is like, yeah, Warner Brothers and DC tried to do something a little different. They went with Zack Snyder. They went with his vision, which a lot of us, of course, enjoy. I mean, obviously, I love Man of Steel. I love Batman vs. Superman. I think mainly he's talking about mistakes or Suicide Squad, really, because if you watch that now, I mean, as I keep watching it and as I keep reading the Rebirth comic books, I just kind of go, oh, man, they really cheesed this one up, didn't they? I mean, they did. They did. So I think he's mainly talking about that. I mean, yeah, I don't know if he's really talking about Batman or Superman or Man of Steel. I really don't think so because, I mean, that has to do within his character growing, his character developing and everything. So, I mean, yeah, I think he's talking about it a little bit. But you guys got to realize, too, like anybody that's freaking out about what he has to say is, even though Wonder Woman was a little bit lighter, it wasn't Batman vs. Superman, it wasn't as dark as those, but it still was nothing, I don't know. I still think it was still different from anything that Marvel's doing or even Fox Marvel's doing. It still had its darkness to it. It really did. I mean, it had like a pretty damn good balance of, okay, it's got to be a little bit brighter, which obviously it's Wonder Woman, but there was still some darkness to it. There really was. And that's what I just don't understand with, when people are like, reading his quotes and just totally just taking it out of context. And then, of course, you got dickheads like Comic Book Cast. You saw my video I did earlier. They said, Henry Cavill slams the DCEU for the stylistic errors and mistakes. Okay, I get it. I get it. That they have to get their clicks because that's the way it is. You put a little juicy little title in there, but it just makes it sound like he slammed it. Really, that's not slamming it at all. He was just talking about the shift, the mistakes that were made, the growing pains. And you know what? What this tells me is he wants to be Superman and he wants to keep on telling Superman's story, and he's going to. I don't think he's ever going to walk away. Who knows? Maybe 20 years from now, who knows? Who knows what's going to be going on with comic book movies then. But Jesus Christ, guys, we need to relax with this. This is nothing. It's really nothing. I don't think it is. I think he's just telling everybody like the growing pains and everything like that. But I mean, he's got to know too that people are totally received Batman vs Superman: The Ultimate Cut much better. But see, that was part of the growing pains. That was part of the mistakes. Is that the fact that they chopped that movie up and the theatrical version didn't work as well as that added through half hour of footage that was peppered through the whole film. I think he's talking kind of about that as well. So we can't freak out about this. We really can't. Don't freak out about it. It's nothing. He's speaking his opinion. If you don't fully agree with him, that's fine. But don't think he's shitting on the DCEU. Please. I don't want to deal with people like that. It was just like, what? Let me know your thoughts about it down below, guys. What do you think about this? What's your whole thing on it? Are you freaking out about it? Or are you just going, nah, that's fine. Whatever you had to say. Let me know down below. Hit that like, thumbs up button if you'd be so kind. Subscribe to this channel. Subscribe to the other channel too. Follow me on the social media stuff that is currently floating above my head. And of course, I got shirts available. This is one of them, guys. One of my favorites that I made. Go get it. All right. Talk to you later.